What's going on, people? We have got a Friday midday matchup, and it's gonna be a clown fiesta match. It's gonna be the blue Terran, Kevin Lee, going up against the red Protoss Timbo Slice. A matchup we do see from time to time, and both players off racing, but Timbo is halfway decent with his Protoss. Kevin, not so much with his Terran. We do see him go for these weird unit compositions like mass Marauders or mass tanks, and then sometimes he goes for a bunch of Thors that just kind of get chopped up by Zealots. Yeah, I would like to see Kevin just kind of go for standard biotank, medevac. No need to get too crazy, but let's see what these guys show us in this game number 1. Timbo is going for the low ground buildings. Kevin building his barracks at the top of the ramp. Did get a gas as well, so most likely gonna see a Reaper. And that does get started up. Orbital getting morphed as well. And we have Timbo expanding just after the cybernetics core. So yeah, just chugging along right now. Kevin gonna be dropping his second command center as well. Reaper on the way now. Cybernetics core did finish up, so Stalker gonna be in production, and that's gonna be necessary to ward off that Reaper, which is gonna be making its way into the main base now. So it does have a few precious seconds where it can potentially get some damage done. Let's see if it will. We're going to see one probe going down, and Reaper gonna hop on out of there after the Stalker shows up. Looks like he's just gonna chill out here outside the natural. We got Stim being researched for the Terran player, obviously. Can't be researched for the Protoss. And we're gonna see 2 additional barracks in production. So far looking like a biocomposition marine being produced here. Reaper gonna come back into the natural base. And almost gets a second probe there, but Stalker does come back in time, so still only 1 kill on that Reaper, which is already not bad. And he's just going to hang out here, maybe looking to jump into the main a little later, but Stalker going to be in position there. Got another one in the natural there, so I think the time of the Reaper has ended. Those barracks did finish up. We are gonna see a factory as well as an engineering bay. Wait, where's that factory? Oh, there it is. I'm just blind. I'm blind! So, double engineering bay. Which does imply double upgrades, which does imply bio. Stimpack moments away from finishing. Reaper does jump into the main again and dies. We do have an observer going to be floating on across the map for Timbo, so this is going to be his first scouting information. Luckily, of course, there was nothing crazy coming across the map at him, so it was a relatively safe opening. If Kevin had gone for some kind of crazy aggression, Timbo would have no idea. Now, these engineering bays have been finished for a while, but nothing researching just yet. Observer does float on in. Kind of weird little army movement there, so it does seem like Kevin notices that. It does look like he was kind of moving for it, thought about a scan perhaps, but decided against it. We do have a missile turret in production, so the observer not going to be able to fly in again. At least not from this angle. +1 attack being researched. Armor is nowhere to be seen. Kind of suspicious. Does have enough money for it. We also have a reactor on that factory not doing anything. We have a starport over here not doing anything. And back on the Protoss side of things, he is researching Charge, which we'll be finishing up shortly. First 3 Zealots warping in now. And we do have a robo facility producing Immortals, second one in production. And we do have +1 armor being researched for the Protoss. And he already got +1 weapons. Would like to see double forge sooner rather than later, but for now just going one at a time. We do have the armor started up a little bit late, but better late than never, I suppose. And we've got Hellions in production for Kevin Lee, which is kind of weird. Hellions not that great against Protoss. Yeah, they do a little bit extra damage against Zealots, but that's kind of it. And other than that, a lot of Marines for Kevin. So no Marauders this time around. He does sometimes go for mass Marauders. This time, going to be mass Marines. I think Marines are the better unit. One of the strongest units in the game. They can do it all. They can hit ground, they can hit air, they can stim, they can get healed up. They do a lot of DPS, and they're only 50 minerals apiece. So they're not bad. And looks like Kevin gonna go for a 6 Hellion drop, which is kind of interesting. Let's see if that finds any damage there. Now, Psystorm does finish up for Timbo's slice. He's got 3 High Templars at the moment. And those storms gonna be absolutely humongous against the Marines. Here's that drop. Looks like not gonna find anything at the 3rd. So Kevin's gonna drop 2 Hellions off in the natural. Gonna rotate back around into the 3rd to try to find some damage there, but not really a whole lot being done just yet. Some of these probes kind of wandering a little far from the safety of the shield battery. But I think all in all, that was a successful defense from Timbo, only losing 2 probes this game. One of them was from that early Reaper, so only 1 probe going down to the 6 Hellions. And the Medivacs went down as well, so a pretty big failure there by Kevin, who is now taking his third base. Needs to morph that sooner rather than later. And aside from that, just ass Marines still gonna be pumping those bad boys out of 3 barracks, double reactor. Gonna see a warp prism harassment here from Himbo. Kevin does spot that in time, so no damage there being done either. And Kevin gonna need to produce more stuff. He's got a lot of money in the bank. Needs maybe a few more barracks if he's just going mass Marines, but I think he needs some additional tech. The storms are going to absolutely melt those Marines. And Timbo, third base almost fully saturated. He's going for the 4th as well. There's that double forge I was talking about. Yeah, it does start up. I think that's +2, right? +2 weapons and armor. Take a look there. Oh, he already has +2, so that's +3. Not bad. Not bad at all. No further advancement of the tech here from Timbo Slice. We do not see a robotics bay. We don't see a Stargate or anything. So for now, just going to be fully gateway units. And of course, those 2 immortals. Got a bit of a zealot hit squad over here. I guess he wants to go for a double pronged kind of thing. Run these into the 3rd, perhaps. Gonna morph this warp prism into its warp in mode. But Kevin is privy to this. Does show up in time. But here's that double pronged attack. I guess it's just a single prong because the warp prism didn't do anything. But 14 SCVs going down so far, make that 15. Not bad damage at all. And most of these zealots look like they're going to get away, so it's a pretty good little harassment there by Timbo Slice as he runs all these zealots all the way back home. I wouldn't have minded to see them just kind of hang out over here, try to go back in a little later, but I guess incorporating them back into your army is perfectly fine as well. Actually, not really part of the army. They're just hanging out over here. And Kevin just going Marines and medevacs. I don't know if this is going to work. Marines are good, yes, but they are not that good against Storms or Colossus, which aren't on the field, but if they do show up. Now it looks like Timbo going for an attack. It would be nice to have these 8 additional zealots in here, but I don't know if it's going to matter. This army just looks so much more formidable than the Marine medevac army of Kevin. He does have a few liberators, and that's nice, but kind of an awkward sieging position. Timbo doesn't care, he walks into it anyways. Storms coming down, and oh, so much damage being blanketed across the Bio army. Now, Timbo, he does kind of spend a little bit too much time in these liberation zones, so gonna take a lot of damage from the liberators, but he does take out that base. Drops another storm, and, well, the Templars have been cleaned up, and Timbo on the retreat now, not using his money, not doing anything back at home. He's got so much money in the bank. You gotta warp in stuff. What are you doing? Oh my god, he goes for the recall, saves a few of his units, but look at the production tab. Nothing being made so far. Timbo sitting at 99 supply, finally warps in, was it going to be 14 zealots, but that's all he has the gateways for. And perhaps a big missed opportunity for Kevin. If he had just pressed the counterattack, maybe he would have been able to find a victory there. And we are going to see 4 liberators coming into the main base for some harassment. Timbo very out of position, doesn't really have too much anti-air anyways. Warps in a big round of stalkers, and that should be adequate. We also have 1 High Templar here. Would have been nice to have that mixed into the army earlier. And these liberators now at the 3rd base. Gonna find a few more probes, but nothing huge. And it looks like they are gonna go down, I think. Yep, they do. So 3 probes going down and all that. We still have these 8 zealots doing a whole lot of nothing. And Kevin still going for mass marines, mixing in some liberators as well. And this is interesting because on paper Timbo should absolutely steamroll these fights, but that didn't go exactly as I expected. That first fight, maybe the storms could have been better, maybe could have stayed out of the liberation range, but Kevin now with a 20-something supply lead is down in the bank, and Timbo could equalize by just spending his money, which he does do so now. Warps in a bunch more stalkers, but he's kind of abandoned the High Templar route, and that's a little bit scary. You do really want that splash damage. Likewise, Kevin, no splash damage on his side of the things, but he's got a lot of liberators mixed in, and you know those can just dish out a lot of damage from the skies. Timbo looking for another attack, and these armies kind of just evading each other, and that's a little awkward. Timbo going for this 4th base. Kevin, is he going to come back to defend? Looks like he thought about it and decided against it. And now Timbo, I think, well, no, looks like he was moving home, but decides to press forward. Likewise, Kevin is arriving at this 3rd base, sieging it all up. All these valuable Templars getting absolutely shredded, and Timbo also attacking as well. This is chaos right now, folks. 20 probes going down, 8 SCVs and more. But Timbo, nothing at home. Kevin, he is also not producing anything at home. Both players kind of just scrambling right now. We do see a partial recall, but that's kind of awkward. He recalls half his army and the rest of it is walking home. So I don't really understand that. Timbo going back home now to defend. I don't know if this is the right call. I mean, yeah, you don't really ever want to base trade a Terran, but look at these liberators. How do you ever engage this? You have some zealots that get chopped up in the main base. Big blink in to take care of some of these liberators, but there's so many of them. And now Kevin sieging up the top of the ramp. It's going to be so difficult for Timbo to ever go back and reclaim that main base. I think he should have just tried to go for a base trade, because what do you do now? Some High Templars warped in, gonna combine them into Archons, but I don't know if that's what you need right now. I think maybe if he had kept those as Templar and just feed back the medevacs, that would have been nice to take out some of that healing potential. Timbo looking for an angle here to get back into his main base, but can't really engage up a small choke like that. And Kevin doing so much damage right now, sieging up the 4th base as well. But that's going to allow Timbo to run up, and can he defend this? His unit's getting choked up on the ramp. It looks like, yes, he is just barely going to clean this up. A lot of medevacs. Low on HP, but it looks like 6 of them going to escape with their lives. 1 liberator remaining does get taken out as well. So heavy casualties on both sides. We do see 71 to 73 supply, but the bank going to be favoring Timbo just a bit here. Kevin, however, he still has 3 command centers, a lot of workers, not to mention the mules. So I think the longer this goes on, the better it's going to look for Kevin. Timbo, he only has 13 probes to his name. He does have 2 bases, but that's about it. Big zealot run by, and this is crucial for the Protoss player right now to try to get some more damage done on his opponent. He's trying to micro these zealots to kill workers, but they want to go for the marines. And so 4 workers going down there before the marines are able to clean it all up. Supply still very even, 83 to 81. And the worker supply has evened up, 19 apiece. Army supply fairly close as well. But I would favor Kevin in terms of income. Now, hopefully Timbo realizes he has these zealots here, because every little bit matters at this weird state of the game. And it would be pretty unfortunate if these 8 zealots just don't take part in the upcoming battles, which it looks like some of these liberators want to pick a fight, but decide to go for this warp prism instead. They should be able to get it, I think. That they do, and okay, that's good. The zealots do join up with the army. It's gonna be 80 supply, 80 army supply to 79. 28 workers to 24, so very even from these guys. We do have Kevin lifting off his natural and his main to take these fresher bases. And don't forget he has triple mules, so he is just fine in the economy for now. Timbo taking another base as well, and somehow this is like a mid-game part 2, 20 minutes in. Timbo now looking to move out, and these liberators gonna fly right over them. Neither player really reacting there. Timbo is the first one to adjust. Gonna blink some of his stalkers forward, but not gonna be able to get any of these liberators, it looks like. Kevin getting a little too close, but forces out a storm, which absolutely whiffs. And these liberators still very brave. Looks like they aren't going to get out of there. Just more Marines and Liberators out of Kevin. Very unconventional unit composition. Timbo's units looking a little more standard with some Zealots, Stalkers, Archons, and of course 4 very important High Templars here. Timbo's also going to see all this, the unit composition of Kevin. He's got this Observer, which has been so useful this entire game. Now Timbo going to take out a very important base there from Kevin. 14 more SCVs going down, and that is pretty big. I think Kevin really should be putting down sensor towers to keep an eye on the army movement of Timbo's slice. Maybe one around here would have tipped him off to that movement, and he might have been able to defend, but he loses a base there for essentially free. And Timbo, although he is behind in supply, I do like his army a bit more. Of course, these Templars with the storms, but it does come down to how good those storms are. And these Liberators, this is, what is that, 14 Liberators? So they siege up and Timbo just chills in there. Could be bad news bears. And first storm doing pretty nice, second storm doing a whole lot, and third, oh my goodness, the storms are pretty huge. A lot of the Terran army just melting. I don't think all the Liberators were sieged up, so that was a bit of a mistake by Kevin, who does call GG, and Timbo gonna be taking that 23-minute game.